Hello, Daily Drafters. Today is Monday, November 15th, and thanks for joining me for today's Daily Draft. This will be our second draft of the new set, Innistrad Crimson Vow. Let's go ahead and get on in there and see if we can have a little bit more success than the first draft that we had. Still don't know exactly what the best color combinations in this set are. Still a bit too early to parse that through, but let's see if we can open any fun rares or anything that can kind of dictate the direction of our draft here. All right, and in we go. Let's see here. All right, taking a look at the commons, a Braid, maybe the best common in the set. It's just a really good removal spell. It's hard to pass up. Skywarp Scob seems fine. Seems like a pretty good blue common. Lantern Bearer, I think, is actually going to be a lot better than it looks. Being able to give something +1/+1 and flying after you've already had a 1/1 flyer just seems like a pretty good deal to me. Let's see. Ballista Watcher, 4 mana 4/3. You can pay 3 and tap to deal 1 to any target. That just seems like a very good rate. And on its backside, it's very, very good. Thirst for Discovery, not necessarily where we want to start. Arm the Cathars. Let's take a look at our rare. Glorious Sunrise, 5 mana. Beginning of combat on your turn, choose one. Your creatures get +1/+1, gain trample. Yeah, there's a lot of things, and we're running out of time. And I think I just want to give this a shot. There's a chance this may not be an outstanding rare, maybe a little too clunky for a 5 mana do nothing enchantment, but at the very least, you can gain 3 life at the end of your turn if that's what you need. So I think we'll go ahead and start with that and see where we can go from there. Staying with green, there's a Spore Crawler, which seems like a good, solid 3-drop. Sawblade Stinger. Pretty situational. It's almost always going to be a 4 mana 4/3. Maybe it kills a blood token every now and then. Retrieve. No. Distracting Geist. See, 3 mana 2/1. Whenever it attacks, tap target creature defending player controls. Seems like a good aggressive card. So Glorious Sunrise, I think, is going to want to be in a little bit of a mid-range deck necessarily. I think I'm going to go ahead and stay green with the Sunrise here, with the Spore Crawler, which is just some more value. You know, 3 mana 3/2 dies, draw a card. That's just good value. I don't really see enormous upside with this card unless Blue-Black Zombies is running rampant in the format. So green rare, but unfortunately it's unplayable. Seems more of a constructed build around there. No other green cards in the pack except the Snarling Wolf, which we don't really want to consider this early. So that's not great news. Let's see what else we have. Lunar Rejection. Decent card. I think I would play 1 or 2 if we can find our way into blue-green, but again, I don't think that's a deck I'm really looking to get into. 3 mana 2/3 lifelink. At the beginning of your end step, if you gain life this turn, you may pay 2 and draw a card. That seems like a pretty good payoff for the black-white life gain deck. Blood Crazed Socialite going a little bit more in red-black. So I think we have to branch out here. And I'm not liking a ton of our options. I think the highest upside is the Purifier in case we get pushed into black-white. So I'll go with that, but we'll see where that takes us. I'd still really like to try out the Glorious Sunrise if we can find our way into green somehow. Into the Night, no. Runebound Wolf, in Friday's draft, this card really performed in a green-red Wolf's deck. It domed us for 6 a turn. It was kind of hard to beat. Piercing Light seems fine. Wanderlight Spirit seems like a pretty good card. Much more in blue-white, maybe blue-white flyers. I think we're going to go with another Spore Crawler here to go with our Sunrise. I don't like Bramble Armor. Snarling Wolf is fine, but we don't need to take that this early. Hungry Ridge Wolf. I mean, maybe we could find ourselves into green-red if red keeps staying this open. There's 4 red cards in this pack, so that's something to keep an eye on as we go forward, I suppose. But we'll just go ahead and take the good green 3-drop here. All right, interesting. So Here's Alluring Suitor. A little bit more of an aggressive card. Would maybe prefer to go in vampires. Right now it'd look like it's slot in green-red for us. But I see an Ancient Lumberknot here, and I really want to try this deck out. I want to see if it's anything. So green-red is more about butts. Toughness greater than power. Spore Crawler isn't affected because this only affects cards with toughness greater than its power. So I think I want to try out the Lumberknot and see if, and God forbid we wheel the Phalanx or something. I think this card is only playable if you have 2 or 3 Lumberknots in your deck. So let's go ahead and see if green-black is something we can do. Witch's Web, Combat Trick, don't really need it. All these cards are kind of replaceable red cards. Vampire's Kiss. Target player loses 2 life and you gain 2 life. Doesn't really seem like what we're looking for here. Retrieve, again. I mean, I don't love it, but we already have a Lumberknot. Maybe we could go all in on Phalanxes and see if we can hit them for 13 a turn. Yeah, I mean, otherwise it's Celebrants or maybe Weary Prisoner, so we'll just go ahead and go with this. Good to see another Spore Crawler here. I think this is a good green common. Pick 7, I mean, seems a little late for this card. I think the considerations here would be between Spore Crawler, Daybreak Combatants, and just an Evolving Wilds. But again, I want to stay green for Sunrise, if at all possible, and Spore Crawler allows us to do that. So we'll just take another 3-drop here. Okay, good cards in red and green still left. An unplayable blue, so the only playable cards left in this pack are red and green. So I wonder if red-green is supposed to be the route we're supposed to go here, which would make Runebound Wolf a great card in our deck. Unfortunately, Spore Crawlers aren't wolves, and we don't have any others. So we're just going to take the 3-mana Mana Dork that can transform to tap 2 of any color. I think it's just a fine card. It's not outstanding, but if we want to play a little bit longer of a game for Sunrise to really take over if we can get it down, then Weaver Blossoms does that just fine. So what Sheltered Boughs does, when it enters the battlefield, draw a card, enchanted creature gets +1/+3. I don't think that's necessarily something we would miss. 2-mana 2/2 with Exploit. We don't really have good exploit fodder in this deck, at least yet, so I don't think that's something we have to consider. I think the best card in the pack is Skywarp Scob, but I don't know if blue is the color we want to go down. We'll just take the best card in the pack here. A bunch of mediocre black and green. I mean, none of these are really something I want to consider playing, so we'll go ahead and take the Evolving Wilds in the event that we need to splash something. Yeah, so we've got some blue cards here again, Serpentine Ambush being basically unplayable. Entomber is probably fine in specific decks, maybe blue-green, but we'll cut green here. Another Snarling Wolf. How about 3? I don't think we'll play 3. And there's a combat trick that we could consider running. So after pack 1 here, I think we want to consider pushing towards green. And we're kind of towing the line between, well, honestly, green anything. We can really stay open for anything. All we have is basically the Lumberknot. I don't think this Purifier is what we're going towards. And this Scob is just kind of hanging out for now. Let's see. So as far as green goes, Reclusive Taxidermist, I definitely think is the card here. 2 mana, 1/2 Mana Dork is really all you need to read on this, and it's just upside from that. And if it had no upside, I think it'd still be a great card. However, there is a Catapult fodder here, and that could really... I think if this one wheels, I think we are firmly in black-green. But because we don't know we're in black-green, if we take this and we miss out on the Taxidermist, I think that's kind of a disaster. So let's take the Taxidermist and see if we can wheel that Catapult fodder. That would be great. Alright, here, green cards, Sporeback Wolf. It's fine, 2-drop. Snarling Wolf, we don't need another one of those. Moldgraph Millipede, 5 mana 2/2. When it enters the battlefield, mill 3 cards, then put a 1/1 counter on it for each creature card in your graveyard. That's a hard card to kind of analyze here. So we do have the blue-green uncommon. And almost all of our cards, except for Sunrise here, are looking to be creatures. Let's see what black has. So Undead Butler mills 3 cards. When it dies, you may turn creature card from your graveyard to your hand. How about Wedding Announcement? Wedding Announcement is probably the best card in the pack here. So with Glorious Sunrise and Wedding Announcement, I mean, this kind of pushes us toward a green-white, which I think what green-white does best is training. Like, kind of humans in training, which is really not this card, or is really not our deck so far. But Wedding Announcement seems just like a pretty good card. So I want to take the best card in the pack. Plus it's a rare and we need to kind of play with those early to see how they are. I mean, our curve might be looking a little heavy in the 3-drop slot, but I'll take all the 2-for-1s I can get, right? If the Crawler weren't in this pack, there is a Lantern Bearer. I don't think Brian Comer's for us here at this point. Boarded Window is an interesting card to evaluate here. I think it's much better in a control deck. You can't play this in aggro deck, but I don't think we're looking to necessarily be control. So we'll take the 3/2. How about this green card? Let's see, Dormant Grove. 4 mana at the beginning of combat, put a 1/1 counter on target creature you control. Then if that creature has toughness 6 or greater, transform it into a 3/6 vigilance. 4 mana for a 1/1 counter each turn. I don't know if that's necessarily good enough. Crushing Canopy being just a sideboard card. Skulking Killer, not for us. So, interesting here. I'm not sure there's necessarily anything we would play. We already have 2 do-nothing enchantments. This would be a 3rd one. I think I'll take it just to cut green again, but I mean, we're still looking for a second color here. Nothing has really stood out for a second color until now. Abrade is the best card in the pack for us. I mean, Mulch is green, but unplayable. So I think we just have to take Abrade. So at this point, I don't think the Skav was looking. So we're kind of towing the line between red, white, and black as our second color. And I really hope something pushes us in a certain direction here soon. Here's another Abrade. Don't think that's for us. Crawling Infestation seems like a fun card. You kind of just get value no matter what every turn. But I think Abrade is too good to pass up. And it also allows us to kind of pick a lane a little bit more here. Right, we have an Evolving Wilds. We could splash this Wedding Announcement if we end up with enough creatures, if we really need to. But double Abrade is going to be great for us. Sheltered Boughs, not really. Celebrants, Lacerate Flesh, Epicure. All these are underwhelming cards. Yeah, I don't think we necessarily want to play any of these. Let's just go ahead and cut the green card. But again, I'm not sure any of these would make a deck. All right, here's some green. Cartographer's Survey, 4 mana. Look at the top 7. Put 2. I don't think that's really for us. Spiked Ripsaw. 3 mana for +3/+3. Equip 3. I think that's what we're going to go with. We do need to be on the lookout for just more creatures. We have 11, and 3 of them are Snarling Wolves. Yeah, this card isn't great. So the Catapult Fodder did wheel. Interesting. I think we take it. I mean, our deck isn't perfectly set up for it, but I think this is the kind of card that can really push it over the edge if things go right for us. So, I think we can. Guess we can go ahead and take the mill. I know we're not playing a 5th Snarling Wolf, and I don't think we're headed toward blue. We don't want to branch into 4 alternate colors here. So let's take the Millipede. Again, we don't want blue. I don't think I want to play Bramble Armor, but we'll take it. So we're still feeling out a second color here. And I think we just need to get down the green path even more to make sure that we can really end up with a good base green deck. Let's see, Cemetery Gatekeeper, 2 mana, 2/1 first strike, exiles a card from a graveyard, and then it symmetrically deals 2 damage to each player when anyone plays a land or casts a spell of that type. We're not looking to be that aggressive. I don't think that card's for us necessarily. There's a Scavenger, there's another Taxidermist, which does have larger toughness than power. There's also a Flourishing Hunter, and an Apprentice Sharpshooter would go really well with our Lumberknot plan. We'll go ahead and take Taxidermist here. It's just another really good 2 mana 2/1 or 2 mana Mana Dork, and I think that's going to be best for us here. Let's see. It's Edgar's Awakening, 5 mana, Reanimate, or you can discard it, pay 1, and return it creature to your hand. Don't think that's for us. No, Dormant Grove, another 4 mana do nothing enchantment here. So let's go ahead and consider one of these green cards. We have a lot of mana. We can, with both the Taxidermist and the Weaver of Blossoms, if we took another one and the Evolving Wilds, we can kind of go wild with splashes in this deck, I think. There's a Dawnheart Disciple, but we don't have a ton of humans. We have 3. That's not enough for the Disciple. So we'll go ahead and take another Mana Dork and see if we really do need to splash around. But we're just getting farther and farther into green here, which is not a bad thing to do. You know, just stay close to one color. Nature's Embrace, no. Massive Might, no. Crawling Infestation. Let's go ahead and take the green card. Bloodcrazed Socialite, 4 mana, 3/3 with Menace. When the ETBs, make a blood token. And whenever it attacks, you may sacrifice a blood token. If you do, get +2/+2 until end of turn. We have no other ways to make blood tokens in this deck, so it's just a 4 mana, 3/3 Menace with a 1-shot +2/+2. So let's go ahead and take the green card. Dawnheart Disciple again. We're not looking great in the human department, but we might just need a 2-drop. Yeah, we only have 2 2-drops before already, and they're not looking to get into combat. Point of Discussion, no. Groom's Finery, no. Griffwing Cavalry, being a pretty good training card. So, looking back at how this draft went for us, I'm not sure what our second color was supposed to be. We could have gone down this Lumberknot route, but I don't think we'd have an outstanding deck if we did that. Wedding Announcement being maybe our best card, but white wasn't particularly open. We just know we're green and we have 2 good red removal spells. That might just be the only thing we could do here. So let's see, Cloak Cadet. So this does go with more toughness, so that can help with the Lumberknot. Training, whenever 1 or more 1/1 counters are put on more humans you control, draw a card. This is a great training card, but again, we only have, let's see, 5 humans. This would make 6. I think that's good enough to consider for this deck. Yeah. Okay, so another larger toughness. So I think I want to lean down black-red and maybe splashing double a braid off of our Taxidermist, Weavers, and the Evolving Wilds. We might even be able to get away with splashing Wedding Announcement as well. So let's go ahead and take the Sharpshooter here. And we're just going to be very heavy green in this deck. And this kind of opens up, this second Evolving Wilds here means we can play basically every card in our pile. I mean, we can splash the Double Abrade, we can play the Wedding Announcement, we can play all 3 of these black cards if we really need to for this Lumberknot. Yeah, let's take the Evolving Wilds, make our mana much better. Massive Might. Maybe if we need to, but there's nothing else here that we'd play. Heron of Hope probably being a really good white card that wheeled here, but we're too far away from that, so. 2 really good green cards wheeled here. So, Apprentice Sharpshooter, what's our curve looking like? We have a lot of 3-drops, so for that purpose, I'm gonna, well, apparently it wouldn't let me take the 6-drop, so that's a little bit unfortunate. You probably heard me clicking recklessly to get that 6-drop, but hopefully we don't miss it. All right. Let's go ahead and get the Nature's Embrace. Interesting. So either they don't want you to know who you're drafting with anymore, or it is glitching out a little bit. Who knows? We just saw one glitch, so there's probably still a couple glitches. I know on day one of the format there was all kinds of glitches that caused them to delay the release for several hours, so it doesn't look like it's fully fixed. I think our deck would be a decent amount better with that 6-mana 6/6 up here, but you know, what can you do? All right, so 45, this is 17 lands, so we'd need 5 cuts if we wanted to play all these cards. I don't think a single Phalanx is playable with the Lumberknot, so I'm going to go ahead and cut that now. Let's see. So we have 4 free sources for our Braids, Announcements, and Lumberknots here. So what I think we can actually do is go down to 1 Plains, 1 Swamp, and 1 Mountain. Maybe 2 Swamps for the fodder and the Lumberknot. Because that would leave us with 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So that would leave us with 11 green sources, which are, well, way more green. I think our mana is just fine in this deck for a triple splash. I mean, we have 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 green sources in this deck right now. We could honestly go up 1 more mountain if we really need to for a second Braid here. Yeah, I think that seems fine. So let's see, 2, so 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. So I think that's good. Now we're just looking at cuts here. So 4 more cuts. What's our creature count at? 18. Pretty good. 4 Snarling Wolves is not great. So they count this as a creature, even though it only transforms into 1. Other creatures you control have vigilance. Good combo with the Lumberknot here. I think we can try to run this card. It may be too slow. We may have to make an adjustment and cut it. What about down here? So we have 2 combat tricks, Crawling Infestation, Spiked Ripsaw, Glorious Sunrise. I think we can cut 1 of these combat tricks. So let's see. Gains +2/+2 and Trample. That would be really good with our high toughness creatures here. We can cut that combat trick. We're down to 16 creatures. Let's see. How good is the Millipede? Yeah, I mean, worst case, it's a 5-mana 2/2, which is just awful. And maybe you get it up to a 5-mana 5/5. I'm not super sold on that. So how many humans are we left with? We have 7 humans, decent amount for Cloak Cadet. We have Sharpshooter that can get +1/+1 counters from training. I think that's, and then this Dormant Grove plus Cloak Cadet. Great combo here. I think that's something we can lean on. So I don't like the Millipede necessarily in this deck. I think our mana is completely fine for this. We have a ton of green sources, and we can really play around as much as we want with all the splashing here. So let's go ahead and give this a shot and see how it performs in the queue. All right, here we are in round 1. I think it's an easy keep. Again, we can get that Taxidermist down on 2 and play Ancient Lumberknot on 3 if we draw another land. Evolving Wilds can probably go fetch a red for our Braid, I would think. Let's go ahead and go and grab that red so we can cast our Taxidermist and then hope we draw 1 more land. Taxidermist down here and hope they don't mess with it, because if they do, we might be in a world of hurt if we don't draw more lands. blue-white. I've seen a lot of blue-white in this format so far. So... Alright, that's unfortunate. So if we play the fodder here, and then next turn we draw a land and drop the lumber knot, the fodder will transform into a 2/6. Then we would have a 6/6 and a 4/4, which would be great for us. There's no way we can really draw another card here, so I think we just have to play this and hope our deck cooperates with some lands. There we go. So what we can do here is we can play the lumber knot. This transforms into a 6/6 attacker here. And now they have to either choose to remove our 6/6 that can start throwing creatures around, or our lumber knot. And either would be fine. So that can block our lumber knot well enough. We can also just kill that with the braid, and then I think they're pretty far behind here. Massive Might giving trample, so I mean we can deal 8 to them without them really knowing. This is also a combat trick that can deal with the erstwhile Shield Basher. So let's see, we can play the combat trick that gives the lumber knot trample. They would most likely block this, and they might chump the captain. Yeah, let's use our combat trick, and then we can play Spore Crawler post-combat. Let's go to combat here. We'll attack like this. They're likely to block the lumber knot with the basher. And they don't. Okay. So we can deal 7 plus 4. We can deal 11 damage to them with Massive Might here. Seems fine to me. +2/+2 and gains trample. Sure. And then we'll play a Spore Crawler. They seem to be wanting to attack with this Shield Basher, which I don't think they can really afford to do anymore now that they're at 7. So, see what they have as a plan here. Good thing is we have another removal spell. They really only have 2 blockers right now, so I think we're in the driver's seat. Oh man, second time we've seen Dorothea. Okay. Do we also just have lethal with this? Let's see. Sacrifice a creature, target opponent loses life equal to its toughness. So, no, we don't. Alright, let's see. So, we can pre-combat Abrade the Shield Basher, attack with the Catapult Captain. No. So Dorothea is annoying here, obviously. So if we attack with the captain, they're going to double block, and we only get rid of... It would be a 2-for-1 until they flash back Dorothea, and then we can kill this. They have to double block the captain. Well, not or chump it if we Abrade the Shield Basher. So why don't we Abrade the Shield Basher here. And then if we get in with everything, I mean, let's say they can eat it and then chump it and take 7, which is technically not lethal. So let's... I think we want to keep the Lumberknot around is the problem to make our captain better. Here they could double block and then they would get both of these killed. But if we attack with this one, they might just have to chump with that. This is difficult. Let's see here. So this is much more of an aggressive card. It does nothing unless they're aggressive. So if they basically trade here, chump and take 5. Yeah, I don't see the downside necessarily to attacking with all. Because next turn they're still in a really bad spot because we have a post-combat play of a Snarling Wolf as well if we really need to. Yeah, so now they only have 1 blocker and 1 card in hand, so I think that should be lethal for us. I've been a little underimpressed by Wanderlight Spirit so far this format. I mean, maybe the decks my opponents have been playing are not suited well for it because it's only an aggressive card. Because again, in this spot, it doesn't do anything for them, right? All right, so you have a 6-mana 4/4 flyer. Whenever you attack with one of our creatures, target player mills that many cards. So they have 2 blockers to our 4 attackers, which means... So this can only be activated as sorcery, can only block creatures with flying, so we'll go ahead and get in and then pump the Snarling Wolf, and either way they take lethal. Right? Yeah, because they could let the Captain and the Taxidermist through and take 3, so yeah, should be lethal. There we go. On to round 2. See if we get up against another blue-white deck. Maybe this is holdover from Midnight Hunt where blue-white was, if not the best deck, one of the top 2 best decks, and everyone's just kind of thinking Disturb is the same here. But the difference is Disturb creatures only come back as auras in this set, which I think is significantly worse than a creature. So maybe everyone so far is just kind of on the Disturb train, but it's not, I don't think it's going to be quite as good here. So let's see. Yep, easy keep. We have our Mana Dork if we need it. Go ahead and play turn 1 Snarling Wolf. Turn 2 we can figure out what we need to get with the wilds based on what we draw. Most likely black because I'd like to get a creature down before we need to cast the removal spell. But we'll see. Yeah, so we'll go ahead and get a black with this one. Go ahead and play Weaver Blossoms. And again, we have that same curve where we could play Fodder into Lumberknot, attack for 6 after we transform it because we already have the Weaver. Okay. Yeah, so even if we can pump the wolf and still cast the fodder, but we can go ahead and just we don't even need to pump the wolf. It's just a bluff attack necessarily. So let's get in there. We'll cast the fodder, and this holds up a braid. We can. I wonder if we should just do this. Yeah, let's just go ahead and do this now. No reason to let them have some sort of trick, so let's just kill that now and get it out of the way. Play Lumberknot next turn and attack for a lot. Could have a kill spell for the fodder, but it's fine. We have a follow-up of 4 mana 4/4. Interesting. So this can attack. This can tap for 2 now. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 mana. So we can play another Weaver and a Sharpshooter, but that would transform back to Day, and both of these wouldn't be as good. This still transforms our fodder, and it gets the training going. Next turn, they obviously have a kill spell. I think they're going to go ahead and kill our fodder here. So let's see. If we play the Lumberknot, they'll probably just kill the fodder. And then we can get in there with the other 2 creatures. And the next turn we have a 4/4. Yeah, let's just go ahead and do that, and we'll see which one they choose to kill. They might pre-combat the Lumberknot. Yeah. So we saw that one coming, which is fine, so we'll go ahead and get in there for 5. Because we have another Weaver here that's going to come in as a 3/4, that's the reason I didn't want to flip it back to Day. Otherwise they would both become worse there. So see what their follow-up is. If their follow-up is to just keep removing our creatures, I think we can outrace that. Yeah, like that. See, again, based on our last draft video when I mentioned how bad this card is, we still get the effect from the Lumberknot, so we still get to deal combat damage according to toughness. So let's go ahead and do that. So we can go ahead and just play the Sharpshooter and pump the Wolf. Yeah. And now they have to have... Hopefully they don't have the 6 mana black-white sweeper, but... Yeah, so... That just trades. Wonder if this is a Nombo Sharpshooter. Whenever it attacks with another creature with greater power. So even though these both will be attacking as a 4/4, I'm pretty sure this still gets training. Because this creature's power is still more, even though it deals damage according to its toughness. So I think that's how that would work if we were given the chance to try, but the opponent was off it. So yeah, again, we really haven't had a problem with colors of mana so far, even though we're playing 4 colors in this deck. I mean, all these mana dorks make it easy to kind of splash around. I wish we were able to open some bombs in other colors here to take more advantage of that. Two drop, 3 drop. Can't cast our Braid yet, but again, we have like 6 sources for it, so we should be able to get that at some point. Oh, hello. That could be good if we are able to get to 5 mana here at some point. Go ahead and get in. Likely a kill spell here. Which is fine. If they want to remove my 2-mana 2/2 with not much upside, I'm cool with that. Play our 3/2. Must be nice. Foreboding Statue. And there's our red source. So let's go ahead, drop this. We'll get in with the Spore Crawler. And we'll drop the Blossoms. Next turn, that can open up the possibility to play Sunrise here with Weaver of Blossom mana if we don't draw another one. And then we can draw a card at the end of the turn from our Spore Crawler. We can gain 3 life if they kill our Spore Crawler. I don't think we need to give +1/+1 and trample yet. We just need to advance our board more. So looks like they're going to be doing some graveyard shenanigans here. Interesting decision to kill Spore Crawler, but so we can play double Spore Crawler, or we can just play single Glorious Sunrise. So what would we do here? Yeah, so, well, actually, we can play Glorious Sunrise off of Weaver of Blossoms mana, and then at the beginning of combat, we can have our last green source tap for 3 to play a Spore Crawler. So I think that's what we're going to do. So we'll do this, and then we'll have this land tap for 3, and with that we'll play our Spore Crawler, and then we're kind of set up next turn to draw a card or gain 3 life. Again, if they remove our Crawler, we can also just draw another card with another Crawler, and then we're just drawing all the cards with death triggers and Glorious Sunrise here. So I think unless they have some sort of sweeper or big bomb, that's a great card. Yeah, that's a really good combo. I really like Fellstinger in this format. I think that'd be a really fun card to play with. So how many creatures are they up to now? 1? Yeah. What does this turn into? A 5/5. So we need to kill that now. So let's go ahead and... why did it do that? Yeah, so you just have a 3/2, Death Touch, Spider, beginning of your upkeep mill card. So this, add 1, and then at the beginning of your end step. So I think we want to go ahead and just kill the statue now. Is an artifact. We could just destroy target artifact, but sure, let's do that. Go ahead, play another Spore Crawler, play a Snarling Wolf, and then we'll draw a card at the end of the turn here. Oh, at the beginning of combat, I guess. Let's draw a card. And I don't think we need to consider trading because we have the Anthem with Glorious Sunrise here if we need to, so +1/+1 and trample to our whole board if we need it. Let's see, discard a card, gains indestructible until end of turn, tap it. The former creatures transform it into a star. Okay. So let's go grab our black source, I suppose. And then star creature is +2/+2 and gains trample until end of turn. They don't know what they would use. Let's go ahead and try to cash in one of these crawlers using Massive Might on it here. So we'll go ahead and draw another card. Interesting. That might change our decision, because we can have an Anthem plus another Anthem if we can really assemble a board here with this wedding announcement. But I can't see a world where they're going to double block here. I don't think they'd use the Stinger. I think they're going to block with the Zombie, which is fine, because then we can use Massive Might and then still cast Wedding Announcement. So, yeah, let's go ahead and attack with just the Crawler. And if for some reason it does die, we get a card out of it. So yeah, we'll go ahead and Massive Might the Crawler. It's damage. And then play Wedding Announcement here. And end the turn. Sure. So it's important to keep at least one of these crawlers alive, so until this flips, and so that we can keep drawing cards. So I don't think we can attack next turn unless we draw something, changes combat math for us. But for now, we'll just hold. We're drawing 2 cards a turn, so. No play from them, and we get to flip here. So, drew a land. Let's go ahead and draw another card. Another land. That's unfortunate. So, no good attacks. What's this do? Discard a card, gives indestructible 4 more creature cards, transform it. And we won't be attacking into that. So let's, no attacks. Don't think we have many filtering discard cards in our decks. Let's play a land, and then we'll go ahead and put another counter on Wedding Announcement. At some point here, we'll have yeah, sure. We still have our crawlers. So they can turn this in for 3 spiders or insects if they wanted to. They seem to be flooding out a little bit as well. Cruel Witness. Okay. So at the end of our next turn, we're going to go ahead and get our Glorious Anthem off of Wedding Announcement, and we're going to draw 2 more cards. Weaver of Blossoms, so let's go to combat, draw a card, another land, play Weaver of Blossoms, play a land, and get our Anthem. And now next turn we can give everything +1/+1 and trample, and I can't imagine they have great blocks for that. Interesting decision, especially with our ability to give everything +1/+1 and trample here, so this can only be activated as a sorcery. This can get indestructible, but everything is basically going to live through that. We'll draw a card. Oh my gosh. Here's all our lands. Should have held that one in case we got the second Evolving Wilds. So they do have that, I think. So we would have had to give this +1/+1 and trample. That might have been a little bit of a misclick for me. What are we willing to trade here? So Squire, Fellstinger. So Fellstinger for Snarling Wolf is about the best they can do here. I mean, I could discard a card to give it indestructible. See how many creatures. 1, 2, 3. They don't even have 4 yet, so they can't even transform this. So let's get in there with the wolf. Yeah, that's fine. That has Death Touch, so no need to pump. Yeah, I think I should have gone with +1/+1 and Trample in this case, but... might have been a little bit of a misclick on my end, but I think we have inevitability here, so... I mean, again, we're drawing 2 cards a turn for as long as we want to, and we can just keep dumping creatures, and then at some point we're just going to have lethal. I guess we're on a 4-turn clock if they choose to keep attacking with these flyers here. But I can't imagine that's a winning solution for them, considering we have, let's see, 10 plus 9. We have 19 points of trample coming their way next turn. If we want it. Okay, okay. Interesting. Alright, so... maybe a little bit punished for not attacking last turn here. Do we put Spore Crawler on top? I think we need more creatures, so yeah, I think we have to. So they can give something flying here. So let's go ahead, before we draw a card, we're going to go ahead and thin our deck. I didn't even release it. Why did it do that? Let's see. So we have 6 green. Yeah, we already... how many braids do we have in there? Just 1 left, so let's get another green. Play our Spore Crawler. Draw another card and hope we hit another creature. We could also start gaining life if we absolutely need to. It's the beginning of your upkeep. Oh no, it's just a bad time of the game to draw that, but so we can get an insect, so they can start pumping out 2/2s. We don't okay, so something's going on here. I didn't release my finger, so it keeps just casting these cards. But so we could technically be dead in 2 turns. They have a 2-turn clock if they want it. I might have not played this one super well here. So, let's see what they do. Yeah. They can attack for 6 here. Seven. They have some sort of green combat trick. This could be it. So we're dead next turn. Unless we do something about it. Even if we choose to gain 3 life with Sunrise, we're dead. So... let's see what they do in post-combat here. Yeah. They go to 1. And they go to 17. I don't think we have 17 points of trample here. I think I blew this one, guys. My bad. Yeah, let's mill 2. We gotta give everything +1/+1 and just swing all, and math is for blockers, right? Let's see here. That would be 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 exactly lethal right now, but they're gonna do something about it. Yep. I think it was that one turn where I hit that misclick and drew a card instead of giving everything +1/+1 and trample. I think that was the difference in this game here, so... Fortunately, it looks like we're gonna drop this one. Yep. Don't have anything else we can do, so it's unfortunate. Yeah, let's get back in there and play a little tighter this time. Mono green. I don't think we can cast this Wilds yet, or play it yet, because we're going to play Taxidermist. Following turn, we could play Weaver in the Wilds. So let's see what they have. Another blue-white deck, huh? Lots and lots of blue. Let's go ahead and get our bluff attack in. Play the Taxidermist. I guess it's not a bluff attack. It's just a attack that should be made. So next turn we can play Weaver of Blossoms and Evolving Wilds, grabbing, I don't know, any one of our other 3 colors. Yeah, we don't need to call that bluff. So we can cast the Weaver. We could also play Forest and cast another Wolf. I think we just need to get our Wilds down so we can start. We can basically dump our hand next turn if we wanted to. So let's go ahead and get in with the Wolf. Are they just jumping? Okay. So I can give it +2/+2, play our Forest, and then still play our Weaver of Blossoms. I guess they really, really want the enchantment on the back side, but they're not playing that anytime soon, are they? So, sure. Oh, do they have something? Oh no. Yeah, they have deal 2 damage to target attacking creature, so that's not great for us. For some reason, I didn't think they were getting priority, but I guess they were. Well, they're still getting priority for some reason. I couldn't figure out what it was, so who knows. So we have access to 5 mana next turn. Four mana. That's okay. So we can still, if we play the Evolving Wilds and grab red, per se, we can still play all of our cards here. So let's see if they do anything. Yeah, so they have the attacking creature card. I don't know why they wouldn't have used it last turn. Maybe they just really wanted this dead. I don't know. They could have 2-for-1'd us, so... Interesting decision on their part, but... Let's grab red with this. And then play another wolf here. So we're going to have to be careful knowing that they have the deal 2 to attacking creature if we try to pump the wolf or something. But... At this point, we don't have much else to do with our mana, so... Okay, so that leaves the attack open for us. Just go ahead and get in there with these 3. Well, nothing else to do with our mana here, so let's go ahead, pump these. Hopefully they don't have anything too big. If they can stall our board out, then we're in a little bit of trouble here. Especially with all these lands we've drawn. Getting aggro, huh? Well, can't block it, so... They have to have some sort of 4 toughness creature on the... Okay, guess not. Do we get in with the taxidermist? So if we pump the wolf 1/2, 1/2, we need the taxidermist mana. And there's a chance they have some sort of flash. Maybe like the mythic rare white flash creature, but we can't not attack, so let's go ahead and attack like this. See what they do have. Well, still nothing. Probably waiting for us to pump the wolf here, see what we want to do. They do still have that +2 damage to attacking creatures, so that must be what they're banking on here, but... Yeah, there it is. Let's see if they want to do anything. No, we'll let them scry first. So they're still taking 6 here, though. Yeah, they have another thing. Let's see. Is that another one? Nope. Take 6, and we do our do nothing enchantment. I'm not sure the infestation's really great in our deck here. We might have to take a look at swapping that out for even any other creature, honestly. It doesn't... I mean, we don't really care about our graveyard too much, so the off chance of a 1/1 from milling cards doesn't seem great for us. So they can gain 2 life by giving that. Then they could attack for 5, 6, 7, 8. Which would leave lethal, but we would have lethal on the backswing. So let's see what they do here. Oh my gosh. So we don't have good attacks. We have 2 creatures in the bin for our taxidermist. Yeah, I mean, it doesn't have vigilance at least. So I think we just have to grab our white source and hope we quit drawing lands here. Yeah, I think I'm going to go ahead and make the adjustment for the infestation after this. Seems like a card you really need to be building around to make it good. So if they don't attack, that's probably good for us because that means they likely don't have much of a follow-up. Maybe they have some sort of instant speed interaction, but we'll see. So it is night, so this comes in as a 3/4, which is good. Still no attacks. But we are building our board out here with these insects at least. See if they do anything at combat here. Nope. Alright, so no attacks and turn. So I think our taxidermist is up to 3 creatures? Yeah, 3. So if we mill another creature next turn, we have a 4/4. Let's see here. Okay. So this is 8. What could they possibly have that makes this attack good? Is there in blue-white something that can deal us 5 damage? Because we're going to 5, and we have lethal on the backswing unless they do something. So let's pretend they play a creature plus an enchantment. They go to 6 and another creature. They block 3, take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and they still die. So I don't think we block here. Maybe there's something in the format I don't know about that can kill us here, but again, I don't know about it. That might be it. Let's see. Oh, do they have 2 of them? That would be terribly unfortunate. Told you this card was unplayable, but here we are. Yeah, of course. Yeah, you know. Not much you can do about that there. So maybe the right play there was to chump block with one of our creatures, make our taxidermist into a 4/4, and then that way they really couldn't have won. But gosh, like I said, I mean I wasn't expecting them to play that quality of cards to finish us out there. So I think what we did was probably fine, but it's kind of unfortunate that they had that combination of cards to finish us out. Grab red. Alright, we'll go ahead and drop our mana dork. Again, another blue deck. So lots of blue floating around here early on. They missed. So next turn we could cast 3-drop plus 2-drop. So I'm fine trading a crawler for this flyer here. Although the sharpshooter does line up really well against it. We could train it with a crawler. Let's put a crawler down and see what they do. So this smells of counterspell or combat trick or something. So yeah, they're getting priority here. So let's offer the trade and see what they do. No blocks. Let's play... Could have Syncopate again. They already played one, but I don't think I want to run our Cadet into it. So let's actually play this. Because I'd like to get this down, and then this could be trained next turn if we drop the Cadet, assuming they have nothing to say about it, but they probably will. And then we'll play our Taxidermist and see what happens. End of turn, kill something maybe? Gotta use their mana somehow. Yeah. It's not the end of the world there. So no plays at all. So now they almost assuredly have a counter spell here. So which would we prefer to be countered? The sharpshooter or the crawler? I think I'd prefer to have... Let's see. So this has training as well, so that can go on the crawler. I think I'd prefer to have the sharpshooter countered, so this can be trained eventually by the crawler if we keep it alive, but oh, still nothing. Yeah, so they're getting priority here. They'll almost assuredly counter this one. Yeah, there it is. It'll be a little difficult to get through there, so well, we don't have anything else to do but drop this and hope we don't flood out again. Okay, so kind of creating a little bit of a board stall here, so we'll see who blinks first. 5 mana enchant would be a great draw here. Yeah, so I mean we're kind of just stalling out and they've got flyers here, so we'll just sit back until we can do something. Yeah, so they've got 8 power in the air now, plus a pummeler. And we're just kind of not doing much. Sharpshooter does have reach though, which is good for us, so at least there's that. But we really don't have many attacks. We need to get as wide as we can, draw our enchantment, and then kind of go for a big swing if we can manage that, but we may not have the time. What does this do? Shuffle them back into their graveyard and then they get to impulse? Okay. So they don't want another flyer. Interesting. Forgot to change out that 3-mana enchantment that I was talking about, but oh no. Yeah, there's the mirror breaker, or the stall breaker, I suppose. Kind of needing a braid, like, right now. Well, that'll be good eventually, but not right now. Yeah. So we do have 2 Abrades in the deck, 20 cards left, so... No, it doesn't matter. Yeah, it looks like this one's getting away from us here. And I don't know why they're not attacking with their flyers. I can only block one of them. Yeah, 1 turn too late. Yeah, do we have any way to make blood tokens? I can't remember. I'll hold on to this land just in case, but... Looking to be a little bit stalled out here. More flyers. I think we need to fire off the Abrade on one of their Cruel Witnesses here. Yeah. Yeah, there it goes. That was our out. It's unfortunate, so let's do 1 blocker. Kill that one. Don't think we have a way to get that back either. So let's just keep flooding out. And pass again. Yeah. I'm just dying to flyers here. It's unfortunate we milled the Sunrise. I think that was our out to draw as many cards as we can till we're close to decking, build up our board as big as we can, and then goes attack with all. But now they have another bounce spell. And they can just start getting in with flyers here. Although they are kind of vulnerable on the backswing if they leave themselves too open. They do deck before us right now, but Screaming Swarm changes that math quite a bit. At least we didn't draw another land. Let's go ahead and prevent this damage here. Alright, another creature. But, again, still really no attack. So they can mill us for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 next turn. Still not enough. Okay. Exile target creature card from your graveyard, put a 1/1 counter on it. All activated abilities of all creature cards exiled with it. I don't really have much of a combo with that right now, but doesn't matter if they have a bunch of flyers. Could have been another card that could have really helped us out. Vigilance on all of our creatures might have been something that we could at least attempt to attack. One, two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight, 9. They can mill us for 9. Still not enough. But don't really have attacks, so they're playing this really slow. I feel like they could have ended this game a while ago. I think they're just playing with their food at this point. How is our taxidermist still not a 4/4? 1, 2, 3? Wow. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And right now they can shoot us for a bunch of damage, so they have lethal. We don't. I mean, if we attack, they obviously don't die, so maybe they don't see it. I don't know. It's got to be our only out. Let's just go ahead and pass, and if they attack all, then we can go ahead and scoop it. Let's see, did they just get in? Yeah, there it is. Alright, bit of a messy deck here today. Didn't really find a lane. Wasn't super powerful, but, you know, we squeaked out a couple of wins in there. And, again, can't win them all, so... You know, it looks that'll do it for today's video. Thanks everyone for tuning in, and I will see you tomorrow for your daily draft.